Right then, first things first, we've got to pick the vegetables. Back here we've got some green beans growing, so I'll be picking a few of those down here. Hopefully you can see that these are some broad beans growing down here. We're picking a few of those, ready for dinner. I've got to put the camera down and switch it off, obviously, while I'm picking them, so I've only got two hands. Right, so next up we're going to be picking a few of these little cherry tomatoes. The ripe ones, obviously not the green ones. And they'll be going in with the lamb chops a bit later. We're also going to need some basil. I've got a couple of basil plants growing here. Okay, so I'm just going to take a load of this basil off. Yeah, probably enough off that one plant. I've got another plant growing over here, so I'm going to nick that as well. Fairly decent chunk of basil there. Oh, that's a bit more. Can't have too much basil, can you? Right, so I've got to knock up a quick version of a pesto. Because I've just picked this fresh, the fresh basil doesn't like hanging around for long. So you've got your basil in there. I've got some parmesan which I've already grated, ready to go. This is my version of a pesto. Please bear in mind that I've got a nut allergy, so there's no pine nuts or anything like that going in there, because that could be the death of me. The only ingredients going in there will be the basil, the parmesan, a small clove of garlic, because I'm not making a shed load. There will be some olive oil going in there. There will be some lemon juice. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I might put a little few chilli flakes in there. Depends how I feel. And seasoning, of course. So I'm just going to grab a little clove of garlic from over there. I'll just down you it, please. Good. Don't know why that's gone red on the camera screen. Never mind. It should be green. I'm sure it should be green. Unless my battery's running out again. Oh, typical. Smashing it up like that normally just helps to peel the skin off. That actually, I'm probably not going to need a whole clove of garlic. So what I'll do is just sort of roughly chop that. Because I haven't got a proper food processor, I just use this little mini blitzer thingy, you know, the sort of thing. Hand blender. Okay, so what else goes in there? We want a little bit of olive. You don't want to go mad with this. Oh, hello. You need to be back over there, don't you? Back up there, that's better. So a little bit of olive oil. That might be enough, wait and see. Parmesan. Let's just chuck some of that in. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need, so I'm sort of guesstimating about that much. Right, I just want to give that a quick blend with the stick blender and see where we are. Okay, so I want a teaspoon to scrape down the edges there a bit. Okay, so that's a bit, that needs loosening up a bit. Pop that over there. So what I'm going to do is take the juice of, let's say, half a lemon in there to start with, which does one or two things. Obviously it adds a bit of the lemon juice flavour. It also keeps the colour in the basil, stops it going brown, which can happen with fresh basil when it's just been picked. And just get as much of that in there as possible. Get rid of the seeds over there. And we'll just see how that comes together. I might need to add some more olive oil. I'm just going to wash my pots just to get that off my fingers. Get that lemon juice off. And back in with this little So just going to give it a little taste now. There's certainly enough lemon juice, I don't want any more than that. So I'm going to put the rest of that parmesan in. Oh, a little bit of black pepper. Gosh, that is sharp. A little bit of salt. And again, just to loosen it, a little bit more of that olive oil. I'm hoping that'll be about enough. Soon find out. Okay, so a little looky in there. I'd say that was about the right consistency. So now it's just a matter of give it a little taste. A little bit more salt, I think, in there. Salt, that's the one. And what I'm going to do is just put in a few chilli flakes. It won't overwhelm it. Just add a little bit of background heat type thing, and you won't actually be able to tell there's chilli in there. So I'll say that again, you won't be able to tell there's actually chilli in there. That's so quick. Check that, I think that's going to be about ready to go. Stir it around. Right, so I'm going to do that now. I'll just fridge it whilst I do the rest of the stuff. I'll just have to recharge the battery on the little camera that I use. In here, you can see I've just got some new potatoes kicking off in there. A little bit of salted water. I haven't switched them on yet. Now I've got to prepare the broad beans that I picked earlier. I won't bore you with this for a long time, but basically some of them are a bit gnarly and what have you. But you know, they are straight out of my garden. You don't find this sort of thing in supermarkets. Basically it's quite simple. You just, like that, pop your broad beans out. Oh, that one's got a bit of, so we'll get a shot of that. Basically just pop the good ones out. Keep the good ones. Whack those in a pot of boiling water for about 5 minutes. Hello, he's trying to escape. That sort of thing, really. Oh, hello. Sort of like that. I've only done 2. I'll do the rest with the camera off. So there's your little pile of broad beans which I've just potted. They're just ready to go into some hot water. Next up, I think it's going to be tomatoes and green beans. Right, so these are the green beans I've managed to pick today. They're sort of various lengths and sizes. Do that. Say that in English. Lengths and sizes. Didn't get quite as many off as I would normally expect, but we did have quite a lot of rain yesterday and not a lot of sunshine, so I don't think the bees have been quite as busy as they should normally be. But basically, you just want to take the either top and tail them, or just tail them, or just take the tops off, and they'll go into the pan with the broad beans in a moment. Right, so next up we want to prepare some of these cherry tomatoes. These again it's homegrown, and it's just a matter of just slicing them in half, ready for. They'll take seconds to cook. I mean, the smallest one you can see is about, well, that sort of size. The biggest one, they're sweet, they're beautiful, they're homegrown. I'm going to be eating cherry tomatoes for about the next 6 weeks, the way they're growing out there. Beautiful little babies. So yeah, I've just sliced up some of them. Some of the smaller ones I've left whole. That's just ready to go with the lamb chops when I actually get round to actually doing some cooking instead of standing around talking about it. The main event, I guess, which is the lamb chops. Oh dear. So let's pop these little babies on here. These are only little skinny babies. And that's the fact one of them looks a bit skinnier than the others, but oh, there you go. There's a lot of fat on that one. It's very lightly seasoned. A bit of black pepper. And a little bit of salt. Sort of like that. That's the missus just getting home, so she'll be pleased that I'm getting on with dinner. Could have been done an hour ago, to be honest with you. Right, now what I want to do is just brush those with a little bit of oil. Right, so there's the lamb chops. I just seasoned those, and I just want to just take a bit of oil and just brush that over the top. You don't want to put the oil in your pan and get it all smoky and hot. What you want to do is just brush your lamb chops over with a little bit of oil. Sort of like that, really. So that's that. In the meantime, I've switched stuff on. There's a pan on there ready for the lamb chops. That's on a sort of medium-low heat. At the back there, I don't know if you can see that one, that's the potatoes. They're actually going to take the longest to cook, scarily. Potatoes, new potatoes, they're going to take the longest to cook. Over here, I might need to raise you up a bit. Zoom you down a bit. So back there, you've got your broad beans ready to go. They will take 5-6 minutes. Right, I'm sure about there. Back there, potatoes are just up to the boil, and so what I've got down here is a pan, which hopefully is hot enough. It might actually be a bit too hot. What is these little lamb chops? Bit like that. We're just going to put those little babies in there. Bear in mind. Oh, there we go. I want it all to meat, not the pan. Okay. Alright, that might be a bit. Now I want to season this side as well, because we've only seasoned the other side. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Again, a little bit of oil on there. Keep everything live and kicking. Gosh. So there you are. Right. So that's ready. Should have put that on earlier, but I've just now had to. I'm going to need my tea bags here. Okay. What I do want to do is make sure that it doesn't stick to the pan, or if it does, it doesn't stick too badly. Okay. but I also want to render that fat down. There's quite a bit of fat in there. And the other thing I've got going on over here, back there, are broad beans. And they're now on pretty much full whack, just get them up to the boil. Getting back down here though, I'll give it about 3 minutes, these about 3 minutes each side, and then I'll put them aside to rest, and just to get everything nice and relaxed, and get all the juices going. Okay? Yeah, it's recording. That's about 3 minutes that side. I'm just going to turn those over and just let those cook again for another 3 minutes. As you can hear, that's sizzling away quite well. Right, so I've done 3 minutes the other side. I'm now going to just take them out of the pan, whack them in the oven. I think I might have just said oven when I put those chops in there. What I meant is just put them into a warm place. What I'm going to do now is just take, that's just the juices from the lamb chops. So they go in there with some of those tomatoes, and just give those a little stirry around like that. In the meantime, over here, you can't see this. Hang on, let me see if I can get you to see this. We've got the broad beans and the green beans, which I've just added into there, kicking off at the back. So we'll just get back on the tomatoes then, and turn that up a bit, and just let that the tomatoes will just like deglaze the pan. I might need a stirry stick, also known as a wooden spoon, just to but these will take minutes again. But I don't know if you can see that, but the acidity of the tomatoes will just take all the beautiful juices off the bottom of the pan, and in a couple of minutes that will just make a nice little sauce type thing. I might need to turn it up a little bit, I don't know. Right, I think we're sort of getting there. So basically down there you've got some broad beans, green beans, which are all cooking off nicely together. Beautiful. Over here you've got your tomatoes, they're cooking off. Okay, I'll give those a quick stirry around. Okay, and back there, slightly unseen, that's your potatoes. Anyway, so what I want to do with this now, and this is quite important, is we want to just take a little bit of that and just turn that down a little bit, whack it through a sieve. I've got one here that I prepared earlier. Okay, and then what we're going to do is pop that back in there. And here's the other bit. Do you remember that pesto? I'm hoping we've got this going on here. This is the pesto that I prepared earlier. I want to whack that lot in there. Now I might need a little bit of juice. I want to say juice, I mean some of that water, some of that boiled water from earlier. But what I want to do first is give that a quick toss through. It's going to be lovely, that. So you've got basil, you've got garlic, you've got all that sort of stuff going on. So what I want now is just a little bit of that, actually I'll use some of this potato water, I think. And just give that a little, use that potato water and give that a little toss around. So you've got some, and that's just going to loosen it up a little bit. Yep. So you've got that kicking off all in there. So I'll just give that a quick toss around in there. I'm sure that'll be give that a bit of a like I say, a bit of a toss around. I think we're about ready. We can assemble this dish. Right. So there we are then. So we've got the lamb chops out. Not the prettiest. Let me just tidy this up a little bit. We'll just have a bit of few new potatoes out over there. Again, I'm saying this is the prettiest dinner in the world, but hey, it's food. Oh, look at that. So you've got some new potatoes there kicking off. You've got some, you will have, anyway, there's a couple of lamb chops and stuff going off there. So, the tomatoes, those started off as little cherry tomatoes and now they are, oh, God knows. Oh, so reduced it's untrue. But they're the little bit of juice that's going to go on the lamb chops. And then what you got, it's always difficult to do this in such a small kitchen. What have I done with that? Oh, over there. So you've got your green beans and your broad beans, and they're just gonna, and the pesto, which is intense flavours kicking off all over the place here. Because you've got garlic, you've got basil, you've got your green beans, you've got your broad beans, you've got all those flavours kicking off. Oh. And if you could smell this, you'd be going, oh, I want to go home. Perhaps that's the wrong thing to say. That one again. So we just want a little bit more of that over there, a little bit more of that over there. I'm thinking that's about job. I think that looks pretty bloody gorgeous actually.